everybody.
Everybody.
That was a delayed everybody there, Corey.
Everybody. I was just noticing, I was looking at my monitor and noticing that I'm not seeing, I'm just...
Oh, yeah, you don't know that we're... Yeah, because I'm going to be showing some stuff today. We're going to be getting into some Blender. Some of our MARZ regulars have seen some little animation projects, trying to warm up for the school year here, doing Blender stuff. So figured we'd jump into doing some animation and have Corey try out animating, because we have a surprise animation guest on the stream. Let me try to get this set up. Here he is. Who is that? Virtual. We got ourselves virtual Corey here. This is just a quick model we threw together to do some funny animations, and I guess we'll show you guys, since, I mean, we've seen them a million times already. but let me switch over to, why is this so messed up? Sorry, folks, I had some OBS difficulties here before we started the stream, so we were a little bit late. I just have too many scenes happening. This is what happens when you try to capture two computers, two cameras, a bunch of different audio sources all at the same time. So what Corey's got there, this character this is a version that's not rigged yet. So we'll look at a few different characters that have one that's already been set up for animation, and we'll walk through real quick how to just set up a quick rig for this character. He's got bones, but he's not actually attached to those bones yet. So trying to talk and add this in at the same time. I want to duplicate this scene. We'll have to just do an OBS stream at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Just what all is going on back here.
Yeah, it's been a minute since we've done the stream.
Yeah, we've talked about like the setup, but not really like how it's set up in OBS.
Yeah, I think it'd be really interesting. It's definitely something that I've had to get OBS set up for, like doing some like audio visual routing around stuff. Like it's a really convenient way to like do recordings of system stuff. You know, like when I've had to like record myself using Ableton for students, it's been super convenient. And then also if you're trying to route audio and video from multiple sources to some sort of digital source, you know, like you're trying to sum a bunch of video outputs and then stream them to Discord or something like that. OBS is really useful. But it's definitely kind of confusing, and getting used to where some menus are, where things aren't obvious at all, takes some time. Yeah. I'm still learning.
So there we go. Okay, that's what I wanted to do. Sorry, folks.
Can you pull your Blender window up for me on the monitor, Jay?
Yeah, I will for sure. Okay.
You got a lot going on back there.
Yeah, we were going to check out, so
we're gonna play this first.
We don't need audio really, because that's not what it's about.
We'll play it. The audio's fun. Play the audio.
Okay.
Or wait, is it going to get us a copyright strike though?
There's Zelda music in it.
Yeah, maybe don't play it then.
Okay. Well, I think it's some music. It's a sound effect, but so this tune was one that Corey made actually. Whoops. And this one we can play.
So yeah, you'll recall this from the stream last time. This is...
Stop.
I know, right? I've noticed this, that YouTube is doing this to me too, where you can't cue...
There we go.
It wants to play the video when you try to cue it. Super annoying. So this is a track that I made on the stream last week, I guess. Gosh, it feels...
Oh. Yeah, sorry, can you hear that?
Yeah, I can.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Gosh, it feels so long ago, but the stream was just a week ago.
I know.
Where one of our students, our intern, actually, Lily, made me some samples in Vocaloid, and then I made a song out of them, and then Jay got inspired. And I think like the next morning, right?
Like, I was like, you had posted it in our MARZ Discord, and I was like, might as well like use this as a warm up. So, and I talked about it in the stream last week, like making a dance, like doing an animation to it, or having a dance go along with it. So, this is pretty much it. It's the same music. Hope you guys can hear that. It's pretty silly, pretty basic. It's that same model. Just inspired by some Adventure Time dance moves in there.
Yeah, I've had multiple people see it and recognize the move.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Well, that's good.
You did a good job. Yeah,
So it's unfinished, of course, but you know, just some basic animation. And then put together another quick one. That I'll show you the file for it. It's not the complete file. I neglected to upload those to my Google Drive, so I do not have them here. But this was the finished result, and I have a partially finished one. So we have, this is the one that has the music, but you can see it's the camera's animated, the character's animated, and the burrito is animated.
Yes.
It's very quick, short animation. Of course, animation work takes a long time to do, even 10 seconds. So, but luckily, working in 3D, if you're working in 3D, you have a lot of tools to help you out with animation. So, if we open up, so here's the partially finished, same animation here. You can see it kind of within Blender. If I just hit the play button, it's sort of blocked out the same animation. Of course, the final one is more polished and has a few more additions to it.
So interesting to me right away, like how much the camera motion adds to the dynamism of the scene. Like, you know, like that animation's cool and fluid and stuff, but like I also understand that this isn't the actual final animation, but like just comparing that to what I just saw, it's like the camera motion makes it feel so professional compared, you know what I mean, relative to the static.
Just a still, yeah. So like you can add a lot just by using, you know, adding some camera movement to it. So you can see it's the same, like breaking it down, it's the same. Cause I don't like that YouTube does that either.
Right.
I just want to see a clear picture. But playing and pausing it, that works.
Right.
Of course, like, you know, you kind of, the nice thing is that you can hide a lot with your camera angles too. So like if you know your camera angles before, sometimes it's definitely better to block out things before you jump into like animating. That way you know it's like, oh, you don't see the upper half of your body. You can kind of see the shadow. But it is all animated. I wasn't really thinking about the camera angles when I animated it. It was just something fun to animate. And then
oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Like this shot.
I was gonna say this shot like is cool and like just without the camera like look, you know, from the perspective of the burrito.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's
Burrito POV.
Yeah, without the burrito POV cam, like it's less. It's just way less interesting, you know, and that like switching of perspective, like it's kind of tripped me out right now, like how much that adds to it, like.
It's pretty
really
crazy.
Cool.
Like you can really, you'll see this too. Is I mean, if you were to watch, pretty much, I feel like because you know you're trying to, if you're in a professional workflow of doing animation, of course you're going to want to do your blocking and everything. Like, because here a lot of this I didn't really need. Like maybe you see, like you kind of see this step, and then you see that step into the next one. Like footsteps, like walking is surprisingly difficult to make it look natural.
Right.
This is far from actually a good walk cycle, but
considering how fast you whipped it up, it's excusable.
Still, yeah, it's still like very, I guess I would call it like source filmmaker looking kind of video. I don't know if some of you out there might know what I'm talking about, but like Source Filmmaker is essentially a game engine that has the ability to capture game footage as video, and you can change the animations within it. It has a very particular aesthetic to it, but this kind of shares that. But you can still see, like, okay, you got a footstep, you got that low angle shot, you got kind of a reaction shot almost. I would have probably put one on the other side, but he was looking at the building, and I was trying to just hide the blank background. But that's something, that like turning of the head is not in the original, or is not in this draft.
Yeah. Totally.
So like, just kind of spot the burrito. There's not as much a reaction. There's sort of a.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It goes right into grabbing it. So spacing this out, of course, I was looking at the pacing. It's very hard to do without a reference too. Like I would have, if I would have planned this out, I would have filmed myself doing this and use that for the pacing of the whole video, like done kind of a side profile of walking up to something on the ground, looking at it, looking around, and then picking it up. And that would have been a good reference to have. I couldn't necessarily do that, but
Totally.
you know, you at least get that initial approach, and you can use that for your timing, because that's one part I was struggling with, was like, how long should that reaction be? Like, I should probably leave this, you know, open, pull this back. So I just selected all those keyframes. Actually, I need to select the whole. You see here, all the different bones have animation data on them, and I can grab these and slide them back, and now there'll be like a little bit longer time in between. I can play this and see, okay, how long do I want you to look at the burrito for? Although you see the burrito actually has its own animation, and at a certain point it attaches to the hand. So I have to change that.
It's like pulling it out of my pocket.
Yep.
Pocket burrito.
So that has a different effect. This is the thing that I always have to set up in Blender. I wish that it was just default. I don't know why it's not. For those of you who don't like just auto switching into edit mode, I really haven't set up this Blender for some reason. I'm going to change in the key mapping. I like this tab for pie menu, and essentially that just takes you to all your different options for that particular type of object. So I'm going to go back into object mode, because you can see when I'm in edit, or when it's in post mode and you hit tab, it goes straight to edit mode, and I don't want to be in edit mode. I just want to switch back to object mode. So small little thing. But you can see here's the animation for the burrito. So I just need to slide that back to like where it touches like that keyframe right there. So I just grab this and slide it on back. There we go.
Hey.
Like that. Now we've got that little
cool,
pause
and it like sits exactly where you,
Yeah, it just positions it back where it was
right,
before.
Yeah, cool.
So,
I can't help but notice that there's like an analog here with like music stuff, in that like entering of data like manually, or just like one note or one event at a time, or drawing data in with the mouse or whatever. Like, it only gets you so far in terms of like simulating what actual real world music is like, and that you need to like either do the video equivalent of either reference video, which is like a reference track or reference audio, right? Or like play it in yourself, which is like equivalent of that here is like mocap.
Right.
Yeah. And both of those things, obviously playing it in yourself gets the most musical, but it's also the most room for error, right? Same with mocap. It's like you have to perform the action that you want. And if the timing and the pacing isn't right, you can edit it, but it's like doesn't actually help you if you're not doing the thing well.
Right, totally. Mocap would be really cool to be able to do. There's some workarounds, but hi Aaron, welcome to the stream.
Oh, hey.
We're just doing some Blender stuff.
Whee!
So yeah, it's that added a little bit, just like adding just a little bit more action. Otherwise it would have been super short, like way too short. I feel like the YouTube video would have played and you'd been like, what just happened?
Right.
It already is like borderline just too fast. I feel like there could be more just downtime there. That reaction could be a bit longer. But
yeah, the swooping action is very snappy too, which is like, it's cool, but
is fast.
But you could like spend some time on that, You could like
elaborate it a little bit.
You could like slow-mo.
Get a good sound effect in there to slap that burrito while you pick it off the
Totally.
ground.
And gosh, it's just occurring to me, slow motion when you're doing 3D is entirely about the sound, right? Like
a lot of it, yeah. Like this last part is kind of supposed to simulate slow-mo.
Right.
Just all I did was like animate it and then pull the keyframes way out.
Right. Yeah. So which makes it's exactly like how you do it with audio, is like stretch it. But like if there's no sound of things being slow, like it's just like, how there's not like the like slow motioning, right? I'm not articulating that statement very well.
No, I know.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know what you mean.
Like we're used to hearing the sound slow down too, and that's part of what makes it feel slow motiony. So I think it's like a video trope, maybe.
This would be kind of like what we did with the little Foley project. It'd be fun to do one with an animation just some wacky animation thing. You do the sound effect to it.
Yep.
We had one student recommend Cory eating a whole pizza in one gulp, so I might do that.
Oh, really?
That'd be a
Who
fun
said
one.
that?
Quentin did.
All right.
That was his suggestion.
I am happy to be the
Well, we already have a model for you. So,
totally. Yeah.
it's too late now. You'll have to make one of me, and then we can use that.
Someone will have to make a pizza.
So, anyways, here we've got the one that Cory's looking at here. This one. Let me show. I can go into. I've got a 4-shot here. This is a little bit wacky looking, but it's kind of hard to get all 4 of our screens up on this player on the same time. I wanted to be able to show you guys kind of what we're both working on, remembering all your camera controls.
Yeah. I'm getting some like input lag on this thing for some reason.
Okay. There we go. Now you
Trying to
can
get
see
my
both of our
numpad working.
screens. I know it's a little bit weird. I didn't have time to set it up all nice, but it works. You can see us. You can see our screens.
Well, some crazy input lag on this keyboard right now.
Is that your wireless one?
That's one of the Logitechs.
Okay, so what we've got here is the Blender. This is the Rigify Add-On. It's a great add-on. I definitely recommend. I've used it in the past on our past streams for Blender stuff. But if you go into your add-ons, you might actually need to turn this on, Cory. I'm not sure. Rigify, I think I've got to turn it on too. So it's
where's that?
Edit, preferences, and then add-on.
Preferences.
Yeah, every program does it different.
I hate when preferences is in the edit menu. That's so weird to me. Okay, everyone should know this. The universal shortcut for the preferences is Control or Command if you're on Mac, comma.
Hey, it works.
Works in every app, as far as I'm aware. So very helpful. I feel like we've done this already, but let's check.
Yeah. Is yours checked?
Nope.
Okay.
So
Just got to check that box, and you should be good to go.
Yeah, cool. Do I have to install a feature set from a file or anything?
No.
Okay. Oh, an older version. Interesting.
So once you do that, you should see in this window here.
Yeah, the Rigify.
The Rigify Generate Rig.
Yeah, cool. Boop.
And then you just click that, and so this is the rig, but it's not actually, we just generated the rig. The meta rig here is only for reference, so you can either hide that. I like to hide it just in case I need to like generate another rig or something.
Yeah.
Where's
that option?
H is a shortcut to hide, yeah. We're not sure yet. We're going to make Cory do something. We're going to teach Cory how to animate himself, and then he'll be able to create his, it'll be his new VTuber character.
I also just like want to say that like somebody should dress up as like this rig, like the rig for Halloween, like with these orange arrows.
Oh, have the arrows.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be an awesome Halloween costume?
That would be pretty cool. If somebody understood what it was, like get some.
It would be so good. Like
some like
the
orange,
one person who understands it.
Pipe cleaner things and just like make all the arrows and stuff.
Totally.
So what you can do, I just hit N on the keyboard and that brings up the little side panel here, and then down here in your layers,
all the stuff off, right?
Yeah, you can hide some of these.
It's like
Probably
the tweak
don't need
options, right?
Yeah, all of those you can turn those off. We don't need the root right now, and also you can hide the leg FK and the arm IK because we want to switch our arms. So that's probably all you really need is these 5 here.
Okay.
And then once you've done that, which you don't really need to, you can skip that step if you don't want to set that up. But I like to also turn on, with this selected, turn on the in front option over here in the armature panel. Yeah. And then that way you can just see all the bones in front of the mesh.
Yeah.
So now the next part is to skin this model to the rig. So with Cory selected, hold down Shift and click on your rig, and then Control P to parent, and then in there we should see the automatic weights. And last time I did this, it worked pretty good right off the bat. Sometimes you have to go in and like change your weights and the skinning settings to get it to go, but you should be able to. What? Why did my settings get reset again? Hold up. Again, it changed my key bindings. Yeah, what? Tab for Pi menu. Save preferences. There we go. Okay. Then you can go into pose mode and select things and should be able to animate.
What was that setting you flipped up? That seemed like
Oh, tab for Pi menu. Yeah,
yeah,
in the key bindings.
Yeah.
There you go.
Cool.
It's nicer than
Totally.
going into edit mode all the time.
Right.
So.
Oops.
Oh yeah. You can.
Oops. Where do I want to be?
If you select the rig itself, and then did you skin it?
I thought so.
Yeah. So you should be able to go into pose mode now. Yes. And then you should get your bones here, and you can grab them and click on them and hit G and move them around. Yeah. Woo. Cool. So we want to fix the arms being stuck like that. The legs are fine, but the IK arms aren't always necessary. It's kind of annoying. If you're doing a handstand or something and like putting your hands on stuff, then it's helpful. But in this case, we'll just turn those off. So what you want to do is select one of these bones within the arm, and then over here in that panel that we brought up, there should be a IK/FK slider. So if you go from 0 to 1, it should lock then to the FK instead, and we'll do that on the other side. And that way now the arms will follow the torso, which is a bit more natural. And that's it. That's all set up. We can clear poses. So that's I just hit A to select all of the bones and pose and clear. That just resets it to default. And then to start animating, it's pretty simple. Once we have a pose that we like, we can just hit I on the keyboard and do location rotation. And that's the start. And then we can see our timeline down here. We can move the slider around and set it to another frame. And then say bring Cory down and select everything, hit I, and key in that location. There he goes. I'm gonna do a loop here. And then just duplicated. You can duplicate keyframes. There he goes. He's moving, he's alive. Doing some squats. Oh my gosh, what happened to his arms?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Wow.
Thank you. So
do you have an inspiration here?
Yeah, something's going on.
Let me see if I could get it better.
So I'm hoping gonna do a little dance.
Let me get a better shot for you guys so you can see it's a little bit better. Let's see. I want to do not enough space on the screen. Just go like this. Make mine smaller.
Oh yeah. Then to set up the loop. How do you get to loop?
So to loop it, whoops, I cut off the top of your head. To loop it, there he is. To loop it, you just want to set your end frame over here.
Okay, yeah.
And then it will loop in that frame. So you can take
right. So I gotta like copy
duplicate it over. Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember this workflow, but I'm gonna reset this pose. This is so absurd. Pose, clear transform, right? Or it's reset?
Yeah, you can clear transforms. Okay. That works.
Oh, I had something selected, yeah.
Yeah, you want to get all of them.
Yeah. Got it. Okay, so I'm
gonna try to do a jump. I'm gonna have you jump up in the air. That's usually that's a good fun one to try to to do, and it's not as hard as like doing a walk cycle.
Trying to get him to like lower his arm.
So you gotta rotate in that case. You just want to like put it outside. So hit R to rotate it, and it rotates based on like where your screen's looking. So if you're, you know.
Yes, kind of same with like the grabber.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
You can lock it if you want with your axes. You can do R and Y, and then it should be like locked perfectly to the Y axis. So what I like to do typically is I also like to switch to what's called the dope sheet, which is pretty cool. Hence the name. I don't know why it's called that. Couldn't tell you. But the action editor, so if you switch to dope sheet here under animation and then switch from dope sheet to animation editor, and actually the dope sheet does show it too. You can actually see all of your, with everything selected, you can see all the bones and all the different, like where all the keyframes are, which is very useful. It's helpful to be able to see everything, because the basic timeline won't show you all the different bones. It just kind of shows you the base ones. So in this way you can actually see like what the whole thing is.
Oh yeah.
So quite helpful.
I came so close to having a good starting point, and then something happened where I think like I accidentally left one of the keyframes in, and then like my pose
reset. Oh yeah, the pelvis bone. Gotta get that. Some good. Yeah. See, that's what happens if you set a pose and you already have keyframes in, and you move your timeline, it resets your pose. So what I usually do is have my starting pose like all set up. So let's see, if I'm gonna make you jump, let's get your arms down.
No.
I'm just gonna do kind of a relaxed pose here. Bend the knees a little bit. Be a little bit more of a more natural sort of just standing posture. It's a little bit too. There we go. And then once you have like a basic pose that you like, then keying that in, and then going to your next pose. I'm just gonna delete that one. And doing like going through all your key poses. I usually go like maybe 10 frames or so. Do another pose. This one's gonna be from the crouching down. So I'm thinking about my like, okay, I'm standing, crouching down to jump, and then to jump, and then landing.
You're thinking,
and then standing back up.
You're thinking a lot about this. I am definitely not.
Oh my gosh, what is happening?
I don't even know. I'm just trying to get it to like listen to me here.
To do something?
Yeah, it's cool.
Oh no.
So I'm like, so can I? What happens if I?
So yeah. You want to.
So okay, so
hit I while you're in that.
Let me. Yeah. So let me like. And then does this do the thing? No, that's not what I was hoping it would do. So I think like something happened when I was like trying to like trying to get that thing of like, let me just back it up. There's somewhere that's more visible than this. Come on. Oh, I lost the undo history? Huh? Okay.
It's not like super far, but
yeah, it's cool. Let me reset this. I think I can at least do that. I'm trying to delete these keyframes. They don't seem to want to delete. There we go.
Oh yeah. Sometimes if you don't have the proper thing selected, I would switch to your dope sheet too. So it's just switching this like little icon here. We'll switch where that clock is, and then switching that to dope sheet. It's kind of the second top of there you go. That will help too.
They'll give you like that's the whole list. Right?
Yeah, it's not just like the base versions of the stuff.
This is like the Ableton like show automation.
Yeah, it's a little bit more in depth. You can actually see what all has keyframes on it. See, one thing you want to watch out for when doing this is asymmetry, because it's not natural. It's a natural. Are you sitting? We need to make
I'm not really sure.
So the box is more or less like I really actually ever used the pelvis bone for some reason. I just don't.
You just move the box.
I just move the box around.
That
I
makes
don't
more
have
sense.
much like.
Yeah, I mean that makes an awful lot of sense.
Yeah, it's the pelvis bone is very particular use case.
For sure.
It's a good one though. It's a pretty solid bone.
I'm getting some real pareidolia or whatever off of this little smiley face in my rig too.
Oh yeah.
I'm telling you, this would make a great costume for some little meme for the folks who get it. Okay, so when I'm inserting these keyframes, so I've done some weird rotational stuff. So I want to insert a location and rotation.
And rotation, yeah.
Cool.
For sure.
Oh, then I might need to do scale too, since I stretched them.
Oh.
Or no?
Only scale if you actually hit like S. Like if I scale, like if you hit S on the keyboard, like you can make yourself a bobblehead.
Totally.
Which is actually kind of cool.
That is kind of cool.
Works pretty good.
That is kind of cool. I totally am gonna put that into this animation. So let's make this. Oh, do I have to go back to the timeline to edit the end time? I'll just make this.
Oh yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Let's make this nice 60 frames.
Sometimes I'll have like I'll make it. Ooh, no, wait, stop. Sometimes the UI just. Sometimes no, it's a little finicky sometimes. There we go. I'll like pull this little tiny tab where it turns into like a crosshair in the corner. You can pull up another window and then make that the timeline, and then I usually just stick that at the top so that I still have my like play and stop buttons and then the start and stop for the timeline.
How do you get to pop it out?
It's like a little tiny crosshair in the corner down here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then yeah, you got it. Sometimes it's really
that is
annoying,
that is a finicky user interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually just like right click in there too, which sometimes it's easier to like get the thing you want, but
totally. This is cool though. This works.
That works.
So I have my like initial pose. I'm just gonna try and make him do this little. I'm trying to make him do the cookie dance.
Okay.
Or something. So my thought is like he's gonna like just basically just want to like bob up and down and then make him like lean left and right and do stuff like that. So I want him to return to this keyframe at the end of my animation. And so I'm trying to get this a copy and paste, but when I did that before, it didn't like do it. Like it's not like I hit paste and it doesn't paste.
What works that I've found is if you have everything selected in your dope sheet and just use the Shift D and duplicate, the duplicate works a lot better. I actually copying and pasting sometimes doesn't always work. Let's see. Yeah, it should though.
So then you get a stretch, and then it's supposed to stretch out like this, and it'll stretch like that?
Yeah, if it has that line, that means that it's the same throughout the whole animation.
Got it.
Like it's
cool.
Like it doesn't change. There's no difference between those keys.
Fabulous. So then, cool. So then I'll navigate halfway and do something. Grab, and I'll just go up, and we will lock it.
Go like he's gonna really dig into this jump here.
All right, he's doing something.
There you go.
Looping correctly. All right. So I think that like these like.
What happened? Oh my gosh.
It's not what I expected to have happen. That's cool though. I like it.
Go. Fetal position, Cory. But he's gonna jump very high up in the air. So I'm gonna go 10 frames, and then actually, I might. Let's see. Do I want to clear this pose? I might just clear this pose. Clear all, and then what I can do is just grab that torso because I know I want him to go. So I'm not thinking about the in-betweens. I'm just going from like one extreme to the next. And I want him to like have this like full-on jump. A little bit of, or I guess I said earlier, you want to avoid asymmetry. You actually want asymmetry. You don't want symmetry. Mistake on my part.
What do you think?
Oh, weird. Some like jumping jacks there.
Yeah, with
Looks good.
You don't have to say that.
Oh man.
You are not obliged to tell me that.
But hey, you made an animation work.
Thank you.
That's what looks good about it. I gotta need some curvature to the spine here.
That's not what I wanted.
It's like you're getting abducted by aliens. That's a good pose. I like that pose. So yeah, just going like one to the next. So you can see that it looks weird because there's no like force behind that jump. So this is where you start to add the in-betweens. Like going from this to this, there's no like real, there needs to be a pose in there to kind of signify that like that pushing off, that like building of the momentum that's just lacking. Like it just goes from one pose to the next. So then, but I'm gonna continue and do my landing pose. I don't know what I'm gonna have him do. Maybe I'll make him fall.
I'm not sure what's happening in this animation now.
Sort of hover and then fall on his face. Gotta watch those legs. This is gonna hurt. The feet are nice. I like the IK controls on the feet. You can do the same with the hands, but like I said, it's kind of nice when they just follow the torso, because then you don't have to deal with moving them, because the feet, they're sort of, see how they're like always locked there. So do I want to go like full face plant right now? Maybe let's just go, well, no, I want to have like another frame here. So I thought it was, it's like that, it looks so weird, but the keyframes are there. Maybe I need to have him go further out. So what I'm gonna do is just got the whole thing, grab it, move it. What is happening?
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Got a nice loop there.
Yeah, seen a little booty dance.
That's a little better.
I think you should probably pick his feet up at some point. This dance is looking uncomfortable. Also, hey, just pro tip for all of you out there: if you're out there on the dance floor, pick your feet up.
Pick your feet up.
Like for real. If you're not sure how to dance to music, one great way to start is by just like stepping to it.
Oh.
Something that separates people who are comfortable dancing from people who look like they're stiff and uncomfortable is that their feet are planted on the floor.
Oh.
So, little pro tip. You want something kind of, well, here.
Give you an example?
Yeah, you kind of want to flail your limbs wildly like this guy. I'm just gonna make it like a simple thing. So okay, actually, maybe you can help me. So I've got this thing looping, and the beginning and ending points are the same, but now I want to edit my like looping point, you know? Do you know what I mean? So like I want him to start with like 1 foot up instead. Is that easy to do? Like,
yeah, you can do the one and just copy and paste it over again.
Just the one or whatever?
Yeah. Should be pretty easy to copy and paste that one and then move it over.
Yeah, cool.
Should let you do that.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, it seems like it was being fussy with me in the on the timeline, but in the dope sheet view, it's being less fussy. I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, that's why I try to move to the timeline or the dope sheet as soon as I can.
Well, that's some good dancing right there.
There's a little bit more control. I don't know what exactly it is that it's doing different, but some Blender magic. Gotta rotate your arms are like in the wrong rotated incorrectly. And then it's kind of hard to tell where the floor is because there's not a floor right now, but that will do, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna start. That's gonna be the end. I'm gonna jump and then fall. I might have to go a little bit higher up. I feel like I need more distance here. I'm just moving the whole thing. So I also need to move this one.
So now I'm confused about something.
Slide them along.
I thought I deleted all my keyframes.
You thought you did?
I don't see any left. But you're still doing stuff.
It might be that you have a different.
Oh, is it because I have? Oh, it's because I have something selected. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's based on what you have selected. There is what it shows.
What it is. I'm like, man, he's like doing so much stuff, and I just deleted a bunch of stuff. But it must have been some pretty inconsequential things because it didn't really affect the action too much.
So now I'm going to start working on the pacing here a little bit and like space these out because it's pretty fast. I want them to.
So I'm having an interesting experience here, poking around in the dope sheet and figuring out how to disable individual lanes of this automation.
Oh yeah.
So this is cool.
Like these in here where
yeah,
you
those checkboxes, which is great. You know, like it's really handy. Like, cause I'm like, I just like generated so much complex like data here. Like, there's a lot of like random. You know, I wasn't thinking very hard about it, obviously. But it's cool because you can disable them. So now, like you know, turn the torso off, and all of a sudden, like that movement stops, and you can be like, oh, like it's all the other things that are actually making it super weird. Like the torso animation is actually fine. It's whatever's going on with his head that's really bothersome, and it's like a head scaling.
Let's see.
We can just go through and disable it until we find the thing, you know.
Oh yeah. And once you get I feel like once you get really comfortable in moving things around on the timeline, you can use the auto keying. I like to have my animation all like keyed out with my basic poses. Like here's all my poses, but I can turn on the auto keying, and now like anytime I move a bone somewhere, it's gonna key that in for me automatically, which is super nice. It keeps you from having to like.
Where do you find that menu?
It's this little.
It's the record button.
Yeah, it's easy to forget about, so just like watch it if you move other stuff, because it will animate everything that you move.
Right. So
like if you just had like a plane in the scene, it would animate that plane too.
I've been dealing with this a lot, like learning. You know, I'll be demoing them at some point. I've gotten a couple new instruments that have their own sequencers, and you can record like motion data. Like, you know, it's what we call motion data in music, but it's really like, so step back. A sequencer is a tool that can record and play back MIDI information.
Okay.
So basically like Ableton is a very, like if you're to be working on the piano roll in Ableton, that's not a sequencer. And so I have gotten a couple of hardware sequencers recently because I'm trying to like have the ability to play computer music without the computer or whatever, play electronic music without the computer. And so like sequencers can record a bunch of note data, but they can record other data too. Like, and if you start turning knobs to adjust the sound, but you forget to turn recording off, just like this button here, then all of a sudden you've written in like some data. And the thing that's whack about the hardware sequencers is that there's no like, you can't go and edit. I mean, you can, but like there's not like a convenient menu to like, there's no Control Z. There's no, you know.
Yeah, you're
usually
stuck with it.
Yeah, well, like you have to go and edit it out of your sequence, like you know, or like you know, if you've automated a value going up and back down that you don't want, you have to then automate it like staying at the value you want, like overwrite that.
Oh, I
it's
see.
a real pain in the butt. So like being mindful of like, are you writing in keyframes or automation data or whatever? Really important.
Yeah, it's definitely easy to mess up your animation if you accidentally leave that on without realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to move this back a bit. I don't want him to hold his foot there that long. Oops. So what I'm doing here is planting the foot to the ground, which can be pretty important. Because I want to get that like force, that like push off there. I'm watching that foot though because it's snapping, so making sure it doesn't get stuck. That's still a little too not far enough.
That's really uncomfortable. What is happening right now?
So one thing to, of course, using references for like, if you're trying to do something semi-realistic or, you know, even something basic, like picking up the burrito, like walking up and picking up to it, picking it up, it's something I probably should have just recorded a short video of doing that to have like that as a reference. Would have been very helpful. Start just adding some extra keyframes here. Already that's like a little better. Like lift off.
Yeah, and the asymmetry of the legs is what makes it like, is what sells it.
Yeah, it's not so like, because I could have just had it like pushing off with both legs, but
sure, I'm right-footed though, you know, or like I would probably do that and shove off harder with my right foot, you know, more confident in what my right leg is gonna do, you know. Is it weird to be like have like a handedness is funny, but like footedness is even funnier to me. But like I don't know. Would you say you're like right or left-footed?
Yeah, for sure. Like if I go to kick a soccer ball or something, definitely
100% right foot every time for me.
So I might do a step here. Maybe I'll offset this a little bit. So you like step up and back, put like one of your feet back. So just grab that foot and like bring it back a ways. And it's gonna try to go back, so I need to add that in here. And then just bring that back a little bit. That just gives it a little bit of variation. You can also move the, one thing I like to do is just copy these over. The feet are really difficult to get to like plant good and like not slide around. It's super easy to let your feet slide. I mean, normally, you know, like shoes can slide if you don't like, if there's, you know, different types of floor, but you have to like really think about like, oh, how can I actually slide my foot in this situation or something like.
Rare, like I feel like it's not common. Like a lot of the actions that we're animating are not like sliding around motions, you know, like there are definitely times when that'll happen, but like,
right.
I don't know, like how often are you sliding around on a floor, you know, like usually it's like pushing, like maybe you push off and your foot slides a little, you know, but.
Yeah, I might move this back because he's feeling a little bit unbalanced here. I want to watch for getting, like adding too many, where's this, I have to delete that. Oh, I deleted something important.
This keyboard died.
Oh, did it really? Well, that's not good.
I mean, whatever, batteries are old.
Still picking that foot up because I still wanted to like push off with that foot, but he's picking it up way too early. I need to keep it. You can actually, there is this, I noticed this with the rig last time. I did fix it on one of them. That the Cory's socks don't, they're not, you can see how this isn't skinned properly. Although it kind of makes sense with the Crocs though, doesn't it? Where like the back of your foot would come out of the Croc.
I have yet to flip these things into sport mode or whatever they call it.
But you can already see like even just with a flat like that, it's not quite, it's uneven, so.
Also, I pretty much always wear black socks too, so this is super unrealistic.
Oh man, I'll have to update that.
Super unrealistic.
I know, I messed up the hat too. I changed it. It's the correct thing in the burrito one though. Same bright color.
Beautiful. We got to get that graphic. You know what? Would you do me a favor?
Yeah.
You
want to render that?
Well, no. I was thinking like skin it like the PDX airport carpet for me.
Oh, the hat?
Yeah. Which is what it reminds me of, you know?
Yeah.
Find that like texture. I would love that. I would.
That'd be good.
If anyone, I guess we should probably just buy it. I'm sure someone sells a hat like that. Now I want one. I'm gonna look that up when we're done.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, because why would you know, the Portland International Airport had an iconic carpet pattern for a long time that became strangely beloved in the city, especially after they've removed it and replaced it with a much less interesting pattern. Yeah, But hence my obsession. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, you can just get a square sticker.
Oh,
of
it's a
this
sticker?
image. Yeah.
That foot.
That's so funny.
Just like not going where I want it to.
Oh
That's
my gosh. Yes. The cycling jersey.
Cycling. Oh yeah.
Oh man. Classic Portland carpet. Well, I reset all my keyframes because my thing was getting out of control.
Oh, okay.
And then my keyboard died.
Oh yeah, we only got 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
It goes by so fast.
I know, yeah. This stuff takes forever.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Jay's talking as he goes, and of course, you know, we had some like stream blathering before we started this, but like this one motion took the better part of an hour to do.
Yeah. So
you know, the model already existed. I mean, like you could get faster at this. There, you know, like I'm sure you could do this faster if you weren't demonstrating it and like, you know, answering my questions and blah blah blah. But like, this stuff's tedious. I mean, I don't mean I shouldn't say it that way. This stuff takes a long time.
Yeah.
And you have to like there is like an element of patience involved, but the result is so cool, you know, and like the result is like complete freedom in what you create. Like, you know, it's pretty amazing. And I see people who like really have the time and energy to throw themselves into doing this. You can get a lot better really fast, you know, like like you've seen me flounder around at it, but like it's because I like barely ever try it, you know, and like, you know, if Jay didn't have a full-time job teaching and stuff and like spent all of the hours of his day doing this, you know, like who knows, you know? I mean, the same with me like making music. Like I might be a lot faster at it if that was my entire thing that I spent all my time doing instead of, you know, splitting it with teaching and doing all kinds of other stuff too. But anyways, you know, like it's a time-consuming workflow, but anyone can learn it, and they're, you know, like you can get really good at it really fast. I've seen people develop their skills at this like so rapidly. There's so much tutorial information out there. The tools are free. Mm-hmm. It's really cool.
For sure. I just want to finish this last part, and it's addictive.
Yes.
I gotta get rid of these torso bones. So I'm actually deleting some as I go too. The ones that are just like kind of redundant, I don't need. I'm looking for like a clean arch here, like not where it doesn't, you know, there's like some momentum, which is like keeps me moving. The pacing is still off, but you know, you start to see like where that arch is formed, kind of across and down. So, yep, lots of little details. We could go like dive way into it. I'm definitely no like professional, but I'm learning and practicing and trying to keep up with it. So, keep an eye out. We might post some more. Maybe that's what we should put on our MARZ stories. Is just like random weird little collaborations.
Yeah, 100%. I love this. Yeah, and you know, obviously, if well, I shouldn't say obviously, if any of y'all want to play around with this model, like, you know,
make it available,
remix these things, we should make them available for you too. I would love to see some MARZ folks making some silly animations with me. So feel free to meme me. I'm memeable.
All right, cool. All right, well, we'll be back here same time next week, unless something changes.
Yeah, totally.
Which I don't think it will, but we'll be here.
Yes, we'll see you then.
Cool. All right, take it easy, everybody.